Once dismissed by coaching titans like Gino Auriemma and Cheryl Reeve, Caitlin Clark has obliterated every expectation, rewriting the record books with jaw-dropping performances. The explosion in attendance, sky-high TV ratings, and a surge in merchandise sales aren't coincidences. Clark is proving she's the future of the WNBA. Now with the Indiana Fever, Sydney Colson isn't just sharing the court with Clark, she's becoming one of her most vocal defenders, taking aim at critics and silencing them with cold, hard facts. Clark has become a polarizing figure in the WNBA, and not just because of her game. She's been scrutinized for her appearance, her popularity, and the massive wave of attention she's bringing to the sport. Social media has amplified the hype, creating unrealistic expectations for instant dominance. And yet, despite the noise, Clark stands alone, not just as a talent, but as a cultural force. Fans connect with her passion, her intensity, and her unapologetic love for the game. Her college career wasn't just impressive, it was generational, one of the greatest we've ever seen. But even then, there were doubts about whether her success at Iowa would translate to the WNBA. Even Nike wasn't entirely convinced. Some of the brightest minds in basketball underestimated her. UConn legend Gino Auriemma openly mocked Clark's fan base, calling them delusional for believing she could step into the WNBA and dominate. He dismissed any talk of her being an MVP candidate as disrespectful, uninformed, and flat-out stupid. In his eyes, Clark was doomed from the start. Fast forward, and Clark has rewritten the script. She's putting up the best rookie numbers in league history, turning everything she touches into gold, whether it's boosting television ratings, packing arenas, or delivering electrifying performances. But success hasn't shielded her from hostility. She's been targeted by WNBA veterans who aren't thrilled with her rapid ascent. One of the most viral moments, Skylar Diggins-Smith sprinting across the floor just to shove Clark, seemingly out of frustration as Clark's team built a commanding lead. The Fever were up by nearly 20, and Clark was thriving off the energy, something her opponents clearly didn't appreciate. Through all the backlash, one fact remains undeniable. Clark is the best thing to happen to the WNBA in years. No marketing campaign could have generated the exposure she's bringing. Simply stepping on the court has sent shockwaves through women's basketball. Even the most respected coaching names in the sport haven't been immune to doubt. When Team USA coach Cheryl Reeve was asked if she had any regrets about snubbing Clark from the Olympic roster, her response was as frosty as it gets. No. No elaboration, just a single word. But here's the irony. If Clark wasn't Olympic material, why did Reeve's defensive schemes revolve around stopping her? Many assumed Clark would fade into the background in the WNBA, that the competition would swallow her whole. Instead, she's forcing even her harshest critics to acknowledge the undeniable. Former Fever coach Christy Sides didn't hold back, comparing Clark's competitive fire to legends like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Steph Curry. The way she moves, her shooting mechanics, her court vision, she's drawing comparisons to some of the best to ever play the game. Some skeptics still claim she wouldn't be able to score double digits in the NBA, but watching her deep range and elite footwork, it's impossible to ignore the argument that she could hold her own. She's already redefining what's possible in the WNBA. Clark doesn't need outside motivation to fuel her drive, but the doubters have only added extra fire. Yet, while some questioned her potential, others saw greatness from the start, like WNBA analyst Rebecca Lobo. Lobo went on record predicting Clark wouldn't just put up insane numbers, she'd lift her entire team. At the time, social media ridiculed the idea, with skeptics insisting Clark wouldn't even be the best player on her own squad. Now, Lobo looks like a genius. Clark has seamlessly adjusted to the pro game, and even her biggest critics can't deny the impact she's making. Reports show she's leading all WNBA guards in multiple statistical categories: points created, assists, blocks, rebounds, and she's among the top in points per game and steals. Of course, with her aggressive play style, turnovers are part of the package. But that's the trade-off of being a fearless playmaker, someone who pushes the tempo and takes risks. Bottom line, Caitlin Clark is a game changer. The league will never be the same. Caitlin Clark's greatness isn't just measured in stats, it's in her composure. With relentless scrutiny, endless criticism, and the weight of sky-high expectations, she's never lashed out. She's never stooped to the level of her detractors. Instead, she's uplifted the WNBA, elevated her teammates, and proven that she's built for this moment. After 28 games, her numbers speak volumes: 17.8 points, 5.8 rebounds, 8.3 assists, and 1.4 steals per game. She's rewriting the record books, silencing critics one performance at a time. She's not just another talented rookie, she's a once-in-a-generation phenom. The whispers of doubt were loud before her debut. Many insisted Clark would struggle, that the WNBA would humble her, that she was in for a so-called rude awakening, and yes, the transition had its bumps. There were adjustments to make, but now the results are undeniable. Caitlin Clark isn't just proving she belongs, she's making history, whether her critics like it or not. As the regular season winds down and the playoffs loom, One truth stands above all: Clark has silenced the doubters in the most dominant fashion imaginable. The skeptics who scoffed at her ability to thrive at the professional level? Completely wrong. Categorically mistaken. Clark's rookie campaign wasn't just great, it was historic. A first-team All-WNBA selection should be a given. And if we're talking MVP rankings, I have her sitting at number 4 on my ballot, a stunning achievement considering Indiana's turbulent start, a brutal 1-8 record out the gate, a rocky WNBA debut against the Connecticut Sun where she racked up 10 turnovers, and yet here she is, finishing the season as the league's assist leader at 8.5 per game while averaging 19 points a night. That isn't just an impressive rookie season, that's the foundation of a legendary career. Let her cook. That phrase perfectly captures the essence of Clark's season. One of the best pieces of advice I've ever received. The louder the praise, the louder the hate. The key is balance. And Clark, she's the embodiment of that lesson. She doesn't flinch at the criticism. She doesn't get rattled by the noise. She understands how sports fame and scrutiny work. As her mother always reminded her, people want to see you fail. That's just reality. And yet all Clark does is win. She became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 500 points and 200 assists. And somehow there were still people who didn't see this coming. How? How did they misread her potential so badly? It's what Clark does best. She fakes out the doubters. She lets them sleep on her only to obliterate every expectation in her path. Now, the same critics who dismissed her, silent. Meanwhile, those who believed in her from day one, like Rebecca Lobo, are watching their predictions age like fine wine. Even WNBA legend Lisa Leslie can't help but smile. She called it back in March 2023, comparing Clark to a fusion of Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird, declaring her a game changer. And now, that take looks more accurate than ever. Clark isn't just a ruthless competitor on the court, she's a class act off it. She consistently acknowledges her devoted fan base, inspiring young players and earning the respect of veteran basketball enthusiasts alike. Her impact stretches beyond the game itself. For WNBA executives witnessing unprecedented growth, for the players benefiting from newfound exposure, for every fan reveling in this electric era of women's basketball, one sentiment rings loud and clear: thank you, Caitlin Clark. Then came the move that signified just how seismic her rise truly is. Sydney Colson, a seasoned, championship-winning veteran, signed a one-year deal with the Indiana Fever, and she's not just coming in as another roster addition. She's coming in to back up Clark. This isn't just about basketball. This is about timing, chemistry, and trust in the Fever's vision. Colson, a two-time WNBA champion with the Las Vegas Aces, made her decision based on deep-rooted connections with Amber, Kelly, Stephanie, and Kelsey. And of course, her admiration for Clark and Aaliyah's games played a key role. The Fever's aggressive offseason approach, including the acquisitions of WNBA champions Natasha, Howard, and DeWanna Bonner, makes their intentions crystal clear. This team isn't just along for the ride. They're gearing up for something special. Colson, known for her defensive grit and locker room leadership, is poised to be a critical piece in Indiana's puzzle. A seasoned veteran standing beside a rising superstar, a mentor, a competitor, and a key figure in what's shaping up to be a transformational era for the franchise. Clark's emergence has fundamentally altered the Fever's trajectory and, by extension, the entire WNBA. There are players who shift the balance of a league, players who redefine the game, and then there are the rarest of them all, the generational talents who don't just change basketball, they elevate it. Caitlin Clark? She's one of those players. Drop your thoughts in comments section and don't forget to like and subscribe for more NBA-related updates.